r/ask Reddit. What do people complain about that literally never happens? People pretending to be transgender so they can enter a bathroom and rape people. The worst thing about this is that people honestly think a ducking different sign would thwart a serial rapist. It's one of the most ludicrous, desperate arguments I've seen being brought up by apparently serious people. Drugs on Halloween candy. Only documented case was a man that poisoned his and his neighbor's children for the life insurance. My aunt posts about this on Facebook every single year, and every year I comment on the post telling her to send me the address ASAP if people are giving away hundreds thousands of dollars of drugs, you know, to report it. Vaccines causing autism. Even if this were true, isn't autism better than having a dead child from an easily preventable disease? A cashier giving someone a weird look because of an item they bought or commenting on items they're buying together. Never worked as a cashier, but I'm pretty sure they don't care what you buy and hi, how are you? Find everything you were looking for is code for hurry and pay for your shit then get out. Quicksand. Now that I think of it, it feels like every kid's show back then had some quicksand scene in it. They do, and I was terrified of quicksand as a kid. We went to some amusement park and there was a story walkthrough that had a quicksand scene and I just lost it and had to be taken home early. Adult me is very grateful that it isn't an actual thing that happens everywhere. I've read stories about people, women, yelling at men for holding the door open for them. I don't know if that's never happened, but where I am I'm willing to bet it's never happened. I'm a woman, and I hold doors open for everyone. Most people I know do. It's common courtesy. I had one incident where several people including me, entered a hall. Some guy held the door open and a man who was walking in front of me thanked him kindly. Hodor said, "I'm not holding it for you. I'm holding it for her," while pointing at me. I deliberately ignored him for that. There are people who even make holding a door open seem a dong move. Claiming that the POTUS will hijack democracy and stay president when their second term is over. Some claim that Dubai would do this. Similar claims about Obama. If Trump manages a second term, most likely someone will claim the same about him. I remember my good friend's dad believed this wholeheartedly about Obama. He once said that some beach came out and said on Live TV that he wouldn't give up his power after his second term. When I asked him to show me where Obama said it, he just acted like it was erased from the internet to prevent an assassination attempt. Dangerous trends that bored and paranoid stay-at-home moms spread around like syringes in ball pits. Maybe it's happened once, but that's not something worth spreading around the internet like as if some international supervillain syndicate is banding together to drop syringes into all of the ball pits around the country. You looked at a lake. Are you really an overprotective mommy brigade if you object to syringes in a kid's ball pit though? I used to work at a computer tech support firm. Held the job full-time for 3 years. Back-to-back calls. My confession. Our customers weren't nearly as technically illiterate rude as me and my colleagues made them out to be. Actually, 99% of our customers were kind and just wanted help. I guess exaggerated stories of the call center just made for good smoke break conversation. It's like a rite of passage in the phone support world. We sometimes received a rude customer, but chances were that they had just been worn down from an earlier call with an inexperienced employee. Rarely did we get the entitled prick. And when we did, she was always pretty easily taken care of. I guess you remember the particularly bad ones. That's probably normal. I'm always wondering why the people most afraid of terrorism are the ones who live way out where the buses don't go and almost certainly don't regularly spend time with people who don't look an awful lot like themselves. LOL, very true. I know someone who has a gun-filled safe, an underground bunker, cases upon cases of ammunition, and practically a lifetime supply of canned goods and bottled water. They live in the middle of Missouri. The nearest town is over 10 miles away from their plot of land. The nearest city is over an hour away. They said they are ready when the terrorists come over. I told them that they were crazy. They are horrified that my neighbor wears a hijab and are worried she is going to break into my home and blow herself up. I told them that if she ate Taco Bell and needed to blow up, she was welcome in my bathroom. They think I am naive. I think they play the stereotype game a little too hard. Slipping on a banana peel. Now I've actually done this, on purpose, mind you, but those bastards are slippery. Not as slippery as the ones that created the stereotype. That race is extinct. Not extinct. You can still find Gros Michel. They're just not common. There's still an active effort to breed disease-resistant Gros Michel because they have superior benefits as a cultivar for transportation. If you want more banana facts, just ask. The war on Christians in the US. No one is persecuting you. Gym bullies, or people being really judgmental in the gym. I have worked out consistently 4-5x a week in a gym for over 10 years now, and have literally never seen or encountered this. It's understandable if you are out of shape in one way or another and are self-conscious, but I think most people will agree that you are your own worst critic and it's really all in your head. To be honest, 99% of the time, people in there don't care about you, especially the huge guys, because they are too busy focusing on their own routine or checking themselves out in the mirror to look for gains or whatever. It's like people think the swellest guys in the gym are bad guys from a B movie in the 80s who are waiting to call everyone smaller than them a dweeb. If you take the time to ask the really in shape people for advice, tips on form and things like that, you will find they perk up and are very helpful and willing to even set out time from their routine to give you a mini personal training session. Just make sure you ask at the right time, not mid-set or when they are panting from exhaustion. Some of the friendliest people I have met in life were people you'd think were a-holes, just because they're in the zone and have an intense, focused look on their face, or are ripped. If someone is staring at you in the gym, it's probably either because you look good, are interested in an exercise you're doing, trying to make friends with people who share a common hobby, or maybe you're doing an exercise with poor form and they want to help but don't know how to approach without someone getting defensive. Planet Fitness is the biggest gym bully of them all. Message sensitivity allergies. Message isn't a mysterious synthetic chemical. It's a sodium salt, the single most common amino acid in your diet. As far as your body is concerned, though, message doesn't exist when it is dissolved, like, in your mouth or stomach or the food you got it from in the first place. It dissociates into sodium and glutamate ions. That fact isn't debatable. It's basic chemistry. Salts don't exist once they are dissolved. Read that again. Message doesn't exist when it is dissolved. It's just sodium ions and glutamate ions. There isn't anything special about this glutamate, either, and glutamate is in just about everything you eat. Cheddar cheese can be 5% glutamate by weight. It's in broccoli and tomatoes, fish, mushrooms, and beer. It's in sushi and raw beans, chicken and cheese, and your organic kombucha is lousy with it. Add a little sodium to any of those, ignoring the fact they all contain sodium already, and again, as far as your body is concerned, you have the exact same thing as message. Message, by way of the very definition of what a salt is absolutely nothing more than its constituent parts. Nothing gestalt to see here. Let's call dissolved message message because talking about message dissolved at biological pH is like calling rain glaciers. Soy sauce is full of naturally occurring message, as is tamari and liquid aminos. Oh, and did I mention that the message they add to food is produced by fermentation the same way that soy sauce and tamari are? And beer, which also has naturally occurring message? And I don't know, ducking kimchi? How about yogurt? Did you realize when you started claiming that message gives you a headache that your non-fat Greek yogurt has a shitload of it? Study after study have shown that when consuming normal amounts of message, the only thing that consistently predicts symptoms of sensitivity is whether or not the person knows they are consuming message. If you believe you are sensitive to message, you are a victim of the placebo effect. Edit. Nocebo effect. Thanks for the correction. You cannot be allergic to message, either. If you were allergic to message, then you would be allergic to the most common amino acid in your body, and your primary neurotransmitter. You'd be dead. Literally nobody has ever been harmed by message. I don't care how sure you are. You have no ducking idea how many foods that are message free are full of natural message. And if you did, and you understood basic chemistry, you'd realize just how ridiculous you are being. If you believe you are sensitive to message, you are wrong. Stop talking about it, please. You do not know what message is. You don't know what you are claiming. And you don't know what you are talking about. Everyone on Reddit seems to think that grown adult men can never talk to children or they'll be stoned by their community. Sure, if for some reason you're trying to have a conversation alone with a goddamn tween at a park, it'll look a little fishy, but as a chubby, hairy, adult man, in the proper context I'll talk to kids in passing fairly often and no one's ever made any sort of problem of it. Ever. As long as the parent is there, and you're lighthearted about it, you're not going to get crucified for making a joke or funny remark to a child. I also counsel for a church middle school group and have often chaperoned them outside of the church and never once has anyone questioned me, restrained me, or given me any sort of dirty look for being with 1/6 middle schoolers, sometimes just girls, sometimes just boys, usually both, on any given day. This one infuriates me because it's almost like these the people complaining are the only ones making the situation worse. As long as you're friendly and not overstepping boundaries, you'll generally be welcome where you go. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.